30 हमारे पास 5 मिनट थे. That is the reason I was taking my time.
No, we'll talk to Sinisa Mandrapa. Did I say it right?
Yes, Sinisa Mandrapa. Perfect, yes.
Sinisa Mandrapa. Mississauga की आपको पता ही है mayoral elections के votes हैं. 10 June is a very important day for the fate of Mississauga. एंड ये भी एक मेरल कैंडिडेट हैं. हमारी कोशिश यही है कि हम उन मेरल कैंडिडेट से आप बात कर सकें. मिस्टर खान और सैरा एंड जैफरी साहब, आपका तो अपना चैनल है. यू आर मोर देन वेलकम एनी टाइम. प्लीज़ डू कम. बट टुडे आई हैव सिनिसा मंड्रापा हियर. ही इज़ ऑल्सो अ मेरल कैंडिडेट फॉर मिसिसागा. वोटिंग इज़ ऑन 10th. 10 जून को ये वोटिंग है. प्री वोट हो चुकी है. हमारी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि इस इंटरव्यू को गौर से सुनिएगा. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, वेलकम and thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you very much for accepting me, calling me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, because we just want one of our objective is to understand and to know who are the candidates, what is their objective, and what different you can do which others could not do, and where do you see Mississauga in your presence as a mayor. Please introduce yourself. What do you do at the moment? How did you serve Mississauga as a volunteer as well? How much do you know about Mississauga, and what are the issues in your point of view?
Okay, so my name's Sinisa Mandrapa, and I moved to Mississauga in 1996. I was born in a country called Yugoslavia, and then we moved here, and we moved to Mississauga. And my home, Mississauga, has been my home since then. I had little spurts of going away. I went to Eldon Academy in Michigan for a little bit, then I went to business. I studied business in New York State, and then here in Mississauga, I do real estate broker, mortgage broker, and regulated Canadian immigration consultant. So this is a little bit of what I do and what I've studied. I have big plans for Mississauga. What you mentioned, what I saw in Mississauga. When I came to Mississauga, Mississauga was a pretty small town. It was about 250,000 people, and it was pretty divided. For the wards, you had a ward, and every time you came into a different board, and it was very visible. Whether you were in Cooksville or you're going to Streetsville, there was boards all around, and it was a completely different city. And Mississauga has changed dramatically since I came here, and it wasn't diverse at all. Now Mississauga, I think that we're kind of like the religious capital of the world. We have places of all over. And I think that I've read today, and I was a little bit in more depth, Mississauga Agenda 2051. So Mississauga is basically, we should be a sanctuary city. We're not labeled a sanctuary city, but our principles from the beginning lead us to a sanctuary city. So I think we should be labeled a sanctuary city. A sanctuary city, in the language where I came from, means dream there a heaven. So in the U.S., there's sanctuary cities all over, and I think that Mississauga is a perfect place to be named a sanctuary city and to allow more inclusivity and unity, because in a sanctuary city in the U.S., it's a lot more free and it's a lot more inclusive. There's no restrictions where someone could go or how they could go, and there's a lot more community engagement. If you go to those cities, people on the streets everywhere, I think that our city is at this point, and I would like to introduce this in Mississauga now. I think that we could do this, and I believe that through some hard work and some more transparency, that we could accomplish these things.
Very good. This means your expertise are in real estate and in immigration business. There's no volunteer work. You said sanctuary city. Mississauga already has proved itself, I think so. If you look at the skyline in Mississauga, Hazel McCallion has done tremendous job in Mississauga, and in that period of time, most of the big companies, they had their head offices in Mississauga. The number is increasing day by day because they need new immigrants. Of course, it is everybody's dream to come and live in Mississauga. This is pre-established. But what do you think that Hazel McCallion couldn't do, and what our previous mayor could not do? And there are problems. What are the problems what you identify, and because what kind of experience do you have to deal with the politicians to resolve those problems?
Well, I've followed politics since I was zero. I've watched TV and politics, science, all of these things, and very intuitively, all over the world. And right now, I know like most of the parties. Like I know which parties, what city or what country, and their leaders or their corporations, their groups. A lot of this, and I believe that in Mississauga, there's a lot to do. I think that we need to use things that actually work, because we can't test out things that don't work. Like we do have the highest debt to GDP in Canada, all Canada, but Mississauga has a pretty high debt too. So like we can't be testing things that are gonna maybe work or maybe not work. We need to take what works somewhere and collaborate all these ideas and then make them work here. And we have to have the expertise and the knowledge to do it. So, for example, let's see the minimum wage. The minimum wage in Mississauga, the average wage is $24. The federal is $17. So ours is much higher, $7 higher. But ours, because I do mortgages, ours needs to be at least $35, right? So we would have to. It's realistic.
How it is? What is realistic? Let me tell you. There are so many small businesses. It is hard for the small businesses to survive. Okay, most of the bankruptcies been filed by the small businesses. Government is giving 2,000 sitting home. How a small business can afford to pay? I know we run a small business. It is hard to pay $17 per hour. Okay, with all the taxes, how can you think that they will end up paying $30 per hour?
But the average in Mississauga is 24. So I think that our average for our city is 24. We need more than Fortune.
How can people pay? That's what my question is. Small businesses don't have that much capacity. From where they will pay $30 per hour?
That's 100% it. But I have all the answers.
What the solution? Okay,
so I have the solution.
You are the mayor. That is the reason I'm asking. Give me the solution.
Yes, in a few days. That's what I'm. So there's many different ways. There's Fortune 500 companies, and we have about 60 in Mississauga, mostly in Meadowville. So we have the opportunity to bring them to different places, high-paying jobs, and by the construction to make it as high-paying.
So you want small businesses to die?
No. I'll get to that point. Global 500 companies. There's a lot of global 500 companies, and we're the capital of global. So we need more global 500 companies in order. They have high-paying wages too. Super high paying wages. So those companies coming over to our city could benefit all of us positively. And I think our small businesses, I go to our small businesses a lot. I've been to many small businesses. I love our small businesses. Our small businesses need to be our Mississauga or Ontario or Canadian, and they need to be at a higher level. So in order for them to grow, everybody has to grow. We all have to grow together.
How would they grow? Give me a clue for that. We need the clue, because we want to make more money and we want to pay $50 per hour. Just give us the clue. we want to see you as our mayor.
I think what Sinisa is saying is the average 24 hours, $24, and which is Fortune 500 attract more businesses from Fortune 500, so that because they are the ones who are paying high. And restaurants and all the small businesses, they pay $15-16, but when you average it out, it is $24, and now you want to raise it to about $30.
The ways I would like to raise it is, like, for example, a smart city. So Mississauga has a lot of regulations for things we can't do. So like
red carpets.
Yeah. So red tapes, whatever you want to call it, carpets. So we need to get rid of these laws in order to do it, but it has to be done very constructively. There's also federal government sometimes or provincial that won't allow it. Or we need to have somebody that's going to be able to negotiate, because, for example, let's say drone delivery. Drone delivery, people could be getting their packages for less than $1, right? For $2, like in Salt Lake, like in Tanzania, like in some parts of Pakistan, India, China, right? Europe. Few cities, like all of these places have delivery systems where you get it for $1 or $2. This could make a lot of sense, because wherever they're testing these things, that's where they're building. So if Mississauga doesn't allow building, then there's a problem for these companies. They're not going to build here, and then we're not going to have that opportunity. But if we allow innovations, like let's say other sanctuary cities, like San Francisco, these cities, we're going to be making more money. We're going to have more small business. The more the regular person has, the more the small business is going to have. And the more the small business.
Okay, let's talk about affordable housing, because that is your number one.
Yes.
In the list. So we have 5 more minutes, and let's talk about affordable housing. What can you do about affordable housing?
Affordable housing, there's a lot to do. I believe that affordable housing, we need to build more housing, but we need to look at the costs. And first of all, to start off, we need to house everybody. So people that can't afford need to have some place to live.
Mm-hmm.
People can't go homeless out of this city. This is unacceptable. If we are a city that's close to a sanctuary city, there has to be space for everyone. So let's say some places like maybe Malton, some places where I live, 5 and 10, some places like Lakeshore down. There's many different places where we could construct buildings where we could have people live for a cheap price, right? Like something that's low income. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. For affordable housing, I believe that we need to build, and we need to have better transparency with the builders, because some places get built in a year and some places take 4 years to build. So we need to. I think
but there is a difference. A condominium that takes 4 to 5 years, whereas townhouses and houses takes 9 months to 1 year. It's you are a real realtor, basically, and you know that. Some places take 1 year. It is not, because buildings, a condominium, that definitely take 4 to 5 years. It's not from now, it's in 7. That's how it is.
Yeah, but some places, like permits are a big problem. So it takes about 4 years for a developer to even get a permit. So this is another part of my streamlined system. So if we lower the permit cost, then we could also lower the cost of buildings, which will also lower the cost of housing units. So that's another idea. So there's also ideas to build faster. So there's technologies and of all sorts, and building faster is a real possibility nowadays. Building faster is normal. So permits, I would like all permits prices to go down lower, and I would like a computer system. If you read my online on Smart City, I would like a computer system where you could go on and you could do it, and then a human checks it just in case, and then it goes through. And then
that'll make it faster for you.
I think, it would make it faster for all of us, and I think that this would benefit us.
Talk about crimes. What would you do
So for
about
crimes, I think that we need to have a little bit of a conversation, maybe internally as a city. So there's a neighborhood watch program, and this used to be a really big program when I used to live in the city in 1998. It used to be Canada's safest city. So maybe now it's time to maybe advance this program. I was thinking a program of security in each ward, because we were having a lot of auto thefts. Yesterday I had somebody visit my house to solve auto thefts. So he has the switch to solve auto thefts. And we had a big chat. We were talking about how to solve this. And so crime in each ward, like a unit, like a my way kind of thing for transit, where there could be just not physical, but like visual, visual. I think we need to work on preventing crime, not only fighting, because fighting crime, you're going to go to jail. Preventing crime, maybe opening up programs, so people could do things, people for businesses, for people for exercise, for recreation. Because if all we do is fight crime, it's going to turn to violence, right? Jails, and I think we need to try the other option. If that doesn't work, then we need to. So basically, we could either have another police station or a jail, or we could have security.
But the government doesn't have that. They have already increased the budget too much for the police. And how would you create that money to have more police officers?
Yeah, definitely. Ontario did give a lot of money to Peel Region, and I don't know exactly where it all went to the police. The highest increase in Canadian history, and I don't see any of that. I see the crime rate went up like something really weird. Crime rate went up like in Mississauga, like crazy numbers. We're like almost one of the top crime capitals of Canada. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Very sweet man. Ultimately, very honestly, he said very honestly, I don't know what to do. But of course, let me suggest you one thing. In next, you should develop a team. Those who understand your mind and they know exactly how to implement those things. I wish you all the best in your future, but a young man with energy to change. But I thank you very much that you accepted our invitation.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. Yes, we are all helpless, and one thing he said good was, of course, jails are there, punishment is there. We need more police officers, but from where the money will come? I like Majid Bhai Toronto's setup. 3 governments working together. Mayor is from NDP, but she just took out her वो जो एनक थी एनडीपी की उन्होंने उतारी. शी इज़ वर्किंग विद द प्रोविंस, शी इज़ वर्किंग विद द प्राइम मिनिस्टर, प्रोविंस, फेडरल गवर्नमेंट एंड सिटी वर्किंग फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ रेजिडेंट ऑफ Ontarios. And I wish the same in Mississauga and also in Brampton. A wonderful young man, Sinisa Mandrapa इनका नाम है. 1996 में आप यहाँ पे आए थे, यूगोस्लाविया से आप आए हैं और ज़िंदगी के ख्वाबों के साथ हैं. I wish him all the best. Anything you want to tell to the people?
I just want to add, so my name is Sinisa Mandrapa. My website is www.mandrapaformayor.com. And I would like for people that listen, I want to thank you. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to have you listen or watch. And if you could please, I'd also like to build a subway and a stadium to put our city together. If you would like to read more about me, contact me. My phone number is 647-207-7474. And remember to vote June 10th, 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Since
a lot of energy. Very good.
Mayoral candidate. One thing what I like about him is the sportsman spirit. He came up and spoke to all these South Asians. I always request. I love Canada. It's my adopted country. It is my love adopted. I want to do everything for the country. Please look at the background of every candidate. One thing is, do not only think about the rights, think about the obligations and duties as well. It is our duty to vote. Every Mississauga resident, I request you, please go out to vote on 10th of the June. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.